Okay, so hey y'all, we're back. And so this is our second episode of our questions about Gypsy Rose. Nicole actually finally watched the docuseries and she has a couple of questions.
Yes. All right, so we'll start off with the first episode. And there was the accusation of the grandfather, was it rape, molesting? But the grandfather completely denied it. He looked like he was completely thrown by that whole thing. But he also said that no, she was trying to touch him. And she was a child. So
that's where I feel like I don't know what to think, because is he trying to say a child assaulted him? Is he a liar? Is she a liar? Are they both liars? Or it may very well have happened. Because I do believe that Gypsy did suffer from some form of abuse in different ways. To what magnitude? I mean, that's really kind of the question, is what really took place.
and this is the first time it's coming out.
Right. Well, because you also think there wasn't really another time the story could be told. So,
Okay.
I'm not really sure what to kind of... I don't know. But the grandfather would be the one that you would give accountability to, because he's a grown person.
I don't know. And then he threw it back on a child. I don't believe in that. You don't throw it back
I
on
know
a
that
child.
sounds extremely narcissistic.
Right.
Really, if you ask me, that sounds very narcissistic.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know how much I trust that, because it's kind of like, but then the mom and the grandmother, the grandfather and the grandmother both seem like they ride the yellow cheese bus. Like in that interview, like they kind of did both sound like some mate.
Something's off. Something's off.
Like they just
Leading into that, did you catch that Dee Dee possibly killed her stepmom? Did you catch that?
no.
Because they said that she didn't like the father remarried, and she didn't like her because Dee Dee at the time, this was Louisiana, and she was living with them, and I guess, I can't remember now, but like she had rules and things. She just didn't like her. She didn't like the fact the father remarried, and
I missed that.
she put something in her drink. I forgot the name of it. I didn't write it down, but she did get sick, and she did die. And they did speculate, in the family, that it must have been whatever Dee Dee was putting in her drink. So, because I was like, wow, she got blood on her hands already. You didn't catch that?
Friend,
Okay.
you just blew me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Interesting, right? All right. Let's move on. So in the second episode, right, I have a couple of things that I had questions. So the relationship between the stepmom and the dad, right? So they say that they were here and there throughout the years.
But allegedly the mom and her they always worked together.
Right, the mom and her worked together. When they got flooded out, Katrina, and went to Louisiana, the dad was looking for her. I think he said 8 months or something like that. He was looking. So
allegedly, but I don't know if I believe that.
So it seemed like he was around, but he wasn't around. But he was present. There was pictures.
But the sister Mia says that they hadn't seen each other. Well, her and Gypsy since she was 2.
Okay.
From the time she got arrested, from the time she was 2, she was saying that was the span of time they hadn't seen each other.
Wow. Okay, that's a long time.
But the half sister and Gypsy. But it seemed like Gypsy's dad had been taking pictures with their crew at that time.
Right. Yeah, there was multiple pictures. Yeah. So I was just interested to know that with the relationship they had, because it seems like she's very good with the stepmom, right?
No, allegedly that's not the case.
Okay.
Allegedly, Rachel, which is Gypsy's ex-best friend, said that the stepmom was not answering her phone calls until it was convenient for her while she was in prison.
What? Okay.
There was plenty of times when Rachel got out of prison and Gypsy was still in there. She would say, "I haven't heard from Christy. Have you heard from Christy? Try to call Christy."
Okay.
I think the stepmom has always been in it for a payday. Or she's the one who set up the docuseries. She's the one who set up the book deal.
Book deals. Okay. So I'm gonna put a pin on it for the next season here. But in the second episode, did you think it was weird with the doctors? They had suspicions of, okay, you run all this test. You said that your kid has cancer. We can't find anything. She has all these illnesses. We can't find anything. We take you to a neurologist. We can't find anything. And they kind of reported, but not, because they don't have proof. But
I'm going to be honest with you. I think those doctors did know. I think that it was medical fraud. I think that part of the reasons why she took a plea for exactly 8, like she'd go 8 to 10 years. I think it had to do with the statute of limitations.
Okay.
Because that was exactly the amount of time that would be the statute of limitations would be up.
Okay. Got you.
So I think a lot of it was just legalities. Just my opinion, because all these people, doctors and lawyers, they get paid off for this stuff. Like, I know people don't want to believe that because morally, it's not accepted. But the reality is, judges make deals all the time. You give me him, I'll give you him. Like, he has such and such amount of money. Let's split it between the lawyer, the prosecutor, and I, and we'll get him off on this. Like people, we live in a very crooked world that when people try to paint it as a white picket fence, it's not what it seems. Nothing is ever as it seems.
No, I believe it. I had a doctor when my daughter was younger, and he just wanted us to keep coming every 3 months. It was something to do with her bone growth and so on, but there was nothing conclusive. And when I'm questioning him, well, what is the conclusion? We're going a year, 2 years, what? And he got upset and he referred me out to somebody else. I was like, yeah, because you just want to keep charging us. Yeah,
it's medical fraud.
Keep charging us to come here, and it was
but
cleared
here's
up
the thing:
right away.
doctors are business people, and I think people always get that wrong. Like they are in it to make money. They want you to be okay, but it's okay not to keep seeing them for them to get that check.
Right. And she continued to find doctors to do these surgeries.
Well, allegedly, the doctor she had when she was younger was the same doctor that she had throughout the whole period in different states, because that doctor had offices in different, allegedly.
Oh, okay. Got you. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. So we had talked about this offline. So the Vision Con, and there was questioning like what her age was. The mom was having her at, what was it, 18, but she was, the mom
Do
was
we
she was
believe
14,
that
15?
Gypsy ever really was confused about her age? No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think Gypsy herself was never actually confused about age. I don't think herself was confused about the age.
Because she said that the mother went into like I forgot what it was, Office Depot or something. And then she went in there and she had, I think she put 1995, she was born or something. And the lady asked her, well, how did she change the date? She said, I don't know, I think whiteout. It's like, you don't change your birth certificate in Office Depot real quick.
Like, generally, the year you're born is the year you were born.
You don't just go in there, white it out, and then come out and say, no, I changed it. Like, it,
I don't know. It just that's a little weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So, anyway, it was the questions over. Like, she was doing her 14th birthday, but she was really 18. But this, and she was saying like she didn't really know and all this. But then when she went to the convention, and she ran into Dan. But they didn't say like they talked, they exchanged. It was literally a bump, run in, And that was it. And then later he found her on Facebook. And I'm just kind of like, based on passing, you found?
Not you showed up as someone I might know.
And y'all in costumes, and he found you with no information? And
No, I'm sure they very much exchanged information. And
they didn't talk about that. She just seemed like,
well, I think she tried to gloss over a lot of stuff in her docuseries because, again, what I want to make emphasis on is her entire docuseries was based on of her point of view of this entire situation. And point of view, whether it's a lie or not, because I think part of it she knew she was fabricating.
Yeah.
But
because the gloss over is really glossy, because
it's real glossy. Like, shit, like, I don't know. It's a little
shiny.
It's
shiny.
It's very hazy.
Like, okay, so you bump into this little girl Comic-Con. Next thing you know, one day you open up your Facebook.
And at the time, she was like 23, he was 35. So technically, she was of age. And I mean, she had some very provocative pictures.
Yeah, she did.
So where did because I know Amazon wasn't really out like that then.
Right.
So where was she getting these wigs where she was like, oh, let me throw this on and take a real sexy picture real quick?
And the costumes and stuff, like okay, the princess stuff maybe her mom got her, but the ones that with like, the black, there was a black and red one she got. Like, where'd she get that stuff from?
That looked very much BDSM.
Yeah. Where's she getting this stuff from? Okay. So, let's see. I had a bunch of different things here. So, around that time, she started using her mother's Vicodin.
Allegedly. But I really don't feel like... I don't know. Because she also said that her mom was giving her a lot of medication. But then she says that she started using her mom's Vicodin. Which one was it? Was the mom giving you medication for seizures, or did you start using the Vicodin?
Yeah, I don't know, but
let's just put a pin in it.
Yeah. So, just to skip forward, because she went for it. So she was talking about being on the, using the mother's Vicodin, and she went into prison, and she started using something else, and then she told a story about how she was owing money to someone in prison for the drugs, Suboxone, I think it was.
Right.
And then she called the mother and asked the stepmother, to send some money, and she did it. And then she says, well, I feel bad that I did that, so I confessed to the stepmother that
Gypsy didn't feel bad. Gypsy unalived her mom and didn't feel bad. You think she felt bad about some money she owed someone that sold her some illegal substances?
Right. So, but I'm saying to myself, okay, so you can confide in your stepmom for a lie, but you've been getting abused all these years. You never confided in anybody?
At no point did Gypsy say, I have been abused. Through the entire interrogation, she always mentioned her mom was controlling. That was the one word she just always described her relationship with her mom. Yeah.
Even down to the doctors, they gave her a moment to take the mom out of the room, ask her questions, and she never said anything.
Let me ask you something. If you was rolling around in a wheelchair because your mom told you that you better roll around, the mom is abusing you. You get to the doctors, you wouldn't say to her, say the wrong word in there.
Yeah.
One wrong word. I'm standing up.
Yeah.
The jig is up for everybody. You, me, everybody. The jig is up.
Nobody. We all gonna starve.
No,
gotcha.
There's stuff. I think there's a lot of stuff that we don't know.
Yeah.
That's worse on Gypsy's part than we realize. To be honest, because she said I was raised by a manipulator. Yeah. I was taught how to manipulate. I was taught when somebody can tell you they were taught how to manipulate, they manipulating you even saying that.
Yeah. Yes.
So then you're like, okay, this is a green screen, but is the screen really green? Like,
Right. You don't know what to believe.
No. And
Yes.
I kind of think that's where I kind of take everything she says with a grain of salt, because I do know that nothing is as it seems.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's the moral of the story, really, is nothing is as it seems.
Yep. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So at the end of that, she's talking about, she's in conversations with Dan and she ran away, right? So she says the mom was sleeping. She put on her little whatever. She took money, drugs from the mother, and escaped through the night and went to find Dan. The mother wakes up now. She's gone all night, wakes up in the morning, and doesn't see her there in the house. So she says that her mom started to call around to people to figure out where they could find her. And somehow she found Dan and where Dan lived. Right? But she did say that before she ran away, she left her a note. Left the note for the mother. And I'm just kind of like...
Now, in her defense, I've ran away before.
Uh-huh.
And I got caught at the guy's house that I ran away. But I was a minor still.
Right. But the mother knew about Dan?
I was on the phone with him and wrote down his phone number.
Okay.
And when I left the house, I left the phone number on the nightstand. So... But you talking about this is in the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she said something about, I can't remember if it was this exact time, but I don't know if she left a phone there or something like that. But I don't know. It just seemed like if you're running away, you would take your phone, your bag, whatever it is. You take up your stuff. But she said that the mother started to call around.
Was she really running away, or she was visiting?
And she left a note. So I'm like...
Was she visiting or running away? That's the question.
Yeah.
Was she visiting or running away?
Yeah. But somehow her mother
because
found
she knew she couldn't stay there.
Right. His friend's house where he was staying, she went to go visit Dan at the friend's house.
Oh yeah, it was the friend's house that the mom showed up at.
Yeah.
So was that really?
How'd she find him? That was my question. You running away, like. And
this was in the 2000s, so we're not even talking about the 90s where cell phones weren't really as big of a thing,
right.
And like, I never really thought about that, but that's true.
This is weird. And then this note, allegedly it was so elaborate. I'm my own person, and I deserve to have my freedom and all. Girl, just pack your stuff up and go. Why this elaborate? So I don't know. It just seemed weird for if you're running away. It's like you wanted to be found.
That's a good damn question. Did she?
I don't know.
Did she?
I don't know.
That's a good question though, because
it seemed odd. You were escaping the person that's torturing you,
abusing you.
Because
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there was some abuse in the form of like medical abuse to an extent when she was younger. But it seemed like she was more spoiled and she kind of had what she wanted. The mom kind of made sure she, everything kind of Gypsy wanted, she kind of got. And again, when I showed you that clip of, the aunts and uncles being interviewed and them saying that that's kind of how things were with Gypsy's mom. I think it was very much the same thing. I think her mom always wanted to make sure she was good and she was taken care of and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was kind of like treated like a porcelain doll. Sort of. And I think that was her definition of abuse, because abuse could be subjective. And I think that's kind of one of the things that we may really visit is abuse could be subjective.
Well, hold it right there. I'm going to skip to the third episode. So she shot her mother with a BB gun.
Which she admitted to. But fast forward to her saying, I can't kill.
Okay.
Which is why I had him do it.
I'm going somewhere with this. So, allegedly, she couldn't kill, but she did manage to pick up a gun
And empty out the clip, honey.
10 shots, and she thought it was a real gun. When the mother didn't really, she got mine or whatever, I'm going somewhere. It's like, snap, it's a BB gun. I'm going somewhere. What we were just talking about, now the mother goes and says that she was robbed at the Walmart protecting her, protecting Gypsy, because she didn't want people to know that Gypsy shot her. So it's going to say what you're saying there, protecting her, because she knows that she's the prize. But both things there. She does have the ability to kill. She did not know that it was
which
a BB
is
gun.
why I keep saying, as much as people say that they don't think she'll reoffend, I think she will. And I don't know to what magnitude, and I'm not really 100% sure when. And if it will really be unaliving another person or something close to it. And when I say close, we don't know.
Yeah.
Right. But she seems still like very much a master manipulator, very much a person that is capable of doing evil, because again, where she spoke about her having these different alter egos, and Nick had a alter ego. Nick had one alter ego, whereas she had several. And I think the reason why she's painted a picture of Nick being this savage is because as she paints a picture of him being a horrible person, the picture is looking a lot better on her side.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yep.
And I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, that was a big thing that stood out for me with the season, because I think people missed that she does have the capability to kill. And she picked up that gun that the mother allegedly was using to threaten her, so to kill the mother. She didn't know it was a BB gun. She thought that was real bullets. So that was really interesting. And then the second thing I picked up was...
And she emptied out the clip.
She emptied it
out.
out.
I really want us to emphasize on the fact that she emptied out that clip. That is very imperative in terms of talking about, is Gypsy capable, where she's saying she's not capable of unaliving someone.
Yeah.
But is she truly not capable? She said she emptied out this clip.
And she acted like, I had a moment where I was just angry. Is that your only moment? I don't know. All right. So all this stuff where she was talking about how her mother imprisoned her and she chained her up and she did all this. Did they find any of that?
No. And that is another thing where I was starting to question, because everything that has been said up until this point has been based off of what she deems happened. How much can we trust her? Because she's already stated she was taught how to manipulate, she was taught how to lie, she was taught all these things. So if you tell me to my face you're a liar and a manipulator, I'm supposed to believe otherwise?
Right. Right.
Either you're slow or I'm slower than what you think I am. But either way, somebody got a problem.
Somebody got the problem around here. So yeah, if there was all these items that was being used to entrap you, like, wouldn't you, there's been cases where they find...
But also, are you talking about an abused adult at this point that's taking provocative pictures with knives? That just doesn't kind of seem like an abused person. Right. And look, I am not negating that stuff did happen. I do believe in her younger years things happened. Right. But as she got older, I don't believe that was the case. And I might be absolutely wrong. There might be proof of otherwise. I don't believe so, because a lot of things that she's done, it's human behavior is very predictable. And I feel like a lot of what she's done is you kind of look at it and you're like, you know about this.
Yes.
But even if you gave her that leeway, there's still so many things that are questionable on her end. Very questionable, rather. Yeah. Okay, so they couldn't find whatever these
devices that was used to imprison her. And then she also spoke about the mom doing witchcraft on her, that she'll never find love, and put her menstrual in a jar and her and Dan's picture in a jar, and she'll never find love. And she buried it. Did they ever find that?
No.
Any witchcraft?
And apparently she found love. Well, depending on what you call love. But you know, that's subjective again. That is subjective.
Yeah.
So we don't know. Did they, love is blind. It will take over your mind.
That's a whole other topic.
When you think it's love, it's truly not. You need to elevate your mind.
You sure do.
I just don't know.
I'm going to get back to that one, okay?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. So I was listening to her, and they were talking about when they set up the whole thing when he was going to come to the movies. Mm-hmm. So allegedly, she came, met, they were supposed to have sex in the bathroom, and then he couldn't get it up, right? So technically, they did not have sex.
Allegedly, but I don't believe that's true, because she said that to Dr.
She said to Dr. Phil that she did, in the bathroom.
Right? So did you or did you not? Because you know what that is.
Yeah. If he couldn't get it up. She said she was disappointed.
Did you sit on his lap or what?
She said she was disappointed and he couldn't get it up. But you told Dr. Phil you had sex in the bathroom. Out your wheelchair.
And you rolled yourself back out. Because Dr. Phil definitely said, and so after you rolled yourself out at the Cinderella movie. He did. Yeah. He was very specific about that.
Yeah. So I caught that one and I was like,
You know what I'm stuck on? The fact that Dee Dee might have unalived.
You stuck on it. You got to go back and watch that.
I forgot what it was. I didn't catch that part.
Yeah. And the family suspected, but I was like, y'all didn't report. Y'all didn't say nothing.
You talking about the Barney bag. They full of secrets. Them folks don't. You don't know, honey. You don't know.
So yes. So okay. So they had all these things about her using aliases, and she claimed the mom kept finding her accounts online. She was creating different accounts. Okay. So the mom kept finding her alias accounts.
You didn't think the daughter was a little provocative at that point?
She's finding these. So you didn't take the computer away once you finding all these alias accounts?
She's a hoe. She got holes in her pantyhose. Even her mama knows.
So then
even the mama knows.
So now she's in contact with X, and she says an ex of Nick's contacted her and said that he's crazy, he's this, he's dangerous. Did they find that email?
No, but I think a lot of these text messages. But I keep telling you that's why she took a plea deal. Because all of this, they were not going to research with a plea deal. They would have subpoenaed all of this stuff if she didn't take a plea deal.
So Nick had an ex who found
Allegedly.
you. Found you.
Because Nick never spoke about an ex.
I'm just saying.
But you know, Gypsy be making up stuff though, honey. Because even now, she just
and allegedly the exes, they were so deep in that she had to find you to tell you to be careful. I'm just saying, because we grown.
And she told you to be careful, and you was like, I love roller coasters. I sure do love a roller coaster.
I'm about to go on this ride. Yes. So
I'm not so sure I believe that, because one thing we know is if an ex is warning, where there's smoke, there's fire.
I don't know. That stuck out to me. Like, we know how the game go. She reached out to you to warn you.
It sounds like more than that, but okay. We'll give Gypsy that. We'll give her something.
Yeah, I don't know.
2 points on the board for her.
I don't know.
We'll give her the 2 points.
Nick got exes crazy like that about the D. I mean, because it's about the D apparently for her. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
It's fire.
I'm trying to figure out which angle we're going. Okay, so she admitted that Nick and her created this fantasy world, right? Them two, they created.
Nick and her. But I think it's more like her and Nick had been added to it.
I feel, you think about people in love, right? We know some alleged normal-minded people
Right.
who will create a story around being together.
Right.
So you got these two. Nick is a little young-minded. She is too. So, okay, that's what I'm talking about. They create this world where they could be in love and fantasy and role play and, you know, all this other stuff. But like you're saying, she's more the expert in the
Nick
different
like,
characters.
okay, if you want to be in another world, just take me along with you.
Let's just go.
I'll go. You know, because, you know, I'm willing to do anything for you, right?
Yeah.
And she said, she asked him if that means anything, and he said anything.
Anything.
So, you know, it was anything, right? Including a fantasy world, which, I mean, if I had to enjoy a fantasy world to be with you, and that was like the most I had to do, like, that ain't really that bad. Like, I'm just saying, like, it ain't really all that bad.
Yeah.
You know, but I have one alter ego, and you got 6, and one of them was Demona.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Demona don't sound too festive at all. You know, I'm just saying. Demona sound like a little, I don't know, demonic.
Oh, God, girl. And listen, and what's so funny to me, you on a Christian dating site, and both y'all got
You know what? I keep forgetting the Christian dating site. Like, the gag is...
Think about this.
I think that's where you're supposed to say the gag is.
Yeah.
The gag is,
it's
a Christian dating site.
I'm choking right now.
Damn, I forgot all about
It's a Christian dating
through this.
site. You on here with multiple person, and he on here with Victor. Is it?
So who was the Christian, Victor or Nick? Was it Gypsy, Demona? Demona doesn't sound very Christian at all. It must have been the other person. Bella, maybe. Bella might have been a Christian.
I guess. Just seems a little like, okay. Y'all
I forgot about the Christian dating site. Did y'all forget about that? Because I feel like
little things. It's little things.
You know, you're not lying. It is the little things.
How you go from the Christian side to like, Victor and I will kill your mama for you. Like, how do we get there? How did we get there? Right? But again, okay.
I forgot about that.
So allegedly, Nick is into BDSM. According to her, Nick is into BDSM.
But Nick quite wasn't with the black and red wigs, you know?
Nick.
And insert picture here.
Okay. But, like, I don't know if it was out there, and this was just a question I had. Does he have a sexual past? Allegedly, how many people is he banging down to have this BDSM?
Mama said she was watching it all the time, though. Like, based off of Mom's interview of Nick, she said that he needed constant supervision. So when he went out to Springfield to see Gypsy, she caught him as he was getting into the cab, allegedly. And she was very nervous. Because she was like, where are you going? And he said where he was going. And he just left. Of course, he's an adult still at the time. So she let him go. But she did say she was very concerned. When he got to Springfield, she said she told him to stay in a hotel room and not leave because she was concerned about his safety. So he was definitely someone that was very supervised. And I think based off of what the mom has said, that's very prevalent. I don't think anyone could deny that he has been very supervised. Right. Do you feel like?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think so. He had been very supervised, and his mom had made that very clear.
So I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I'm just saying, how much of a sexual past do you have, autistic, that you're into BDSM and you're going on Christian dating sites?
BDSM is real deep. I mean, deep in the trenches. Like, that is some
saying.
deep in the trenches.
saying.
BDSM is not very, like, light.
Yeah.
You know.
Petting.
Like,
Yeah.
that is,
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what?
Dominant,
dark,
submissive. Yeah. That's a,
hole.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
You are kind of open to being, and not that I've done it because I haven't, but I would assume, you know, you might have a dog collar. They might be walking you around with a leash because you're okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just question his sexual history. How?
Because when you really, his mom kept saying he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He has never really done anything.
Yeah.
And her mom had made it very clear that she really supervised a lot of his life.
Yeah.
You know? And of course he was on the computer, and I don't think she was supervising that because she wasn't really anticipating much. But
I don't know.
you're right. That was not something I had really thought about it, but I do think you're right with
Not
that.
saying it's not possible.
No, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't think he made Victor.
Yeah,
I think he
don't
was
think
like,
he's that.
okay, she into this life about, you know, these alter egos. All right, I have Victor.
Because she said she liked his profile because he played video games. I think, yes, he played video games. Was he a dominant, submissive, deviant, this online sexually?
He doesn't even come across as dominant, even in his interviews, even in Killer Couples.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing about him came across very dominant. He seemed very chill and laid back, if you ask me.
So I also noticed they really didn't stress about
And I know this might sound a little crazy. Nick is a Taurus. Gypsy's a Leo.
Yeah. Leos are more.
The Leos are more dominant
they are
than a
more
Taurus
dominant.
is.
Yeah.
Taurus is kind of like the go with the flow kind of thing.
Yeah. That's true.
But that's just a little side note that I just want y'all to keep in mind
No, it's
throughout
true.
this.
Very true.
But just based on the zodiac, I mean, it just doesn't
not part of
sound.
the
It doesn't
character,
sound
yeah.
like the character.
But I noticed that she never really mentioned autistic.
No, because I do believe she knew something was off with him.
Because why it's important, she's trying to set this up in the documentary. Like, this is a perfectly normal person she met online. They were going to talk about this and that.
Well, yeah, because she was trying to tear down his character while she was doing it.
Yeah.
And I can't say that he had issues and then try to tear, because then I look like that butthole. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really paint that picture and then be like, but hold on.
Yeah.
He did kind of ride a little short yellow bus every day.
Yeah.
No, you kind of, either you going to go hard or go home.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel like she had the leisure of doing that.
Yeah. And that's why I say the power of illusions, because she really painted a picture of this guy she met online. Yeah, that's a big detail right there. He's no way. I'm not saying that autistic people can't, but you kind of left that out, like he was
A little
autistic.
bit.
You know what
But
I mean?
I think that, but even when you talk about the interrogation, they left that out. Like on all fronts, when I think it was very prevalent throughout the whole thing. So I'm not even really sure if I feel as if I could bank on that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is something I noticed. Okay, so I also noticed when she kind of described the murder scene, right? It was very much like.
Did you see the murder scene photos?
No, I didn't. Well, yeah, so the blood on the bed and stuff like that. Like,
No. Did you see the mom decapitated? Yeah, it's the person who sent me the pictures. I had to tell them to unsend it after I opened it because I didn't even want to be able to have to be able to look back at it.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
It was a tough. The first time I opened it, it was very hard. It was very hard to look at.
Yeah.
It was very hard to look at.
So, what I noticed that she did mention, because she said she was on the Vicodin and stuff. She did say she was on things, and like we've talked about it. I've been on Oxy before, but I can't take them during the day.
Legally, she was on there.
Was
I just want to
for
clarify
medical
that.
reasons.
I want y'all to. Because my friend here is not a pill popper or anything like that. She's not out here just, living life dirty.
Right. Recovering from an accident.
Recovering, yeah.
So but I couldn't take them during the day. It was at night to help me sleep. So I understand where you are in that phase to help you, because I couldn't sleep without it. But she's doing this all day.
For fun.
You're in a fog. You're in a haze.
In a little fantasy world. On your Christian dating site. Living your best life.
Yeah. So,
and the D is fire. Fire.
When you're in that haze, everything is fire.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, because you think you in a bed, like, it's like rose bed.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, life is great.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the state of mind while she's in a room, but she's making it seem as though Nick came in and then told her, get in the room, and she's in.
I just don't even see that being his personality trait. Now, I might be completely wrong. I just don't see it in his demeanor, the way he's came across. Nothing has indicated to me.
Listen, you got to come in the room with that energy.
Okay.
You don't walk in a room ready for murder.
Because, too, and just a little sidebar that I want you guys to keep in mind, and this is just in direct correlation to who she is as a person, how she is dealing with Ryan now that they're together. Yeah. Those are all things that I feel like you kind of... I feel like a lot of people with this case, they're looking at the corner picture of the situation, but they're not looking at the big picture and tying everything in together. And human behavior tends to be a pattern.
Yes.
And her pattern has shown being manipulative, being dishonest, with being controlling, and all of those things. And do we think she's coming out and she's being the opposite? No. She showed that that's where she has kind of resorted back to that again.
Yep.
And so kind of where the question is now, was that who she truly was in the beginning? Is that who Nick was really saying she was to begin with, and everybody was kind of thinking that wasn't the case?
Right.
There's the questions is what really, who is Gypsy?
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something, any day Gypsy and Ryan ain't together. Although he might have a past. If you thought Nick was going to sing like a canary.
Yes.
Child.
That story gonna be good.
Ooh, that's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so hot to you. You might have signed the NDA already, because I'm telling you, child, when you marry Gypsy Rose, you better sign an NDA. Before I even walk about this prison, you need to have an NDA. And that should cover all things.
Yes.
But I don't think she was smart enough to do that, to be honest with you. If you ask me. And because they're married now, I'm sure he wouldn't sign an NDA. She's kind of like, gotcha.
Girl, doing it for love. That's crazy. This love will set your ass up, But
I don't think she left him ever, because even in that, have you guys seen the clip of the new trailer?
The new trailer.
She was like, I just want to be...
Listen.
You just came out of prison. Your husband's in a hotel room and you just want some space.
Yeah.
Now, look, this might be a little taboo. Not that I think that he would be a good time, but I'm just saying.
Listen, if you hot for a dude, you've been waiting all this time.
That, and also you think, you spent 8 years in prison. You found the love of your life. And you're like, I just got to the hotel room. Where are the cameras? Where are you at? I'm waiting on you. I don't know. That's just a little odd. Like that you would be. I would want that intimate moment with my spouse and be able to enjoy those moments.
Yes.
And just for her to be waiting on the camera, it seems very much staged from the beginning.
Yeah.
Where that's where I was saying the stepmom had already said she was kind of staging it for her.
Right. But even still, there's no petting. There's no, as a woman, she
wasn't even. She was.
There's none of that.
She was over on the bed on this side.
She's like,
and she was like, I don't want to even eat on the bed. He was like, yeah, because the only thing we'll be doing on the bed. And she kind of looked like she wanted to throw up in her mouth.
She threw up a little bit, just a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? And then she was like, but I know I have a time clock and I want babies. I feel like she kind of was like, okay, I'm at that age where I need to be a grown-up.
Listen.
And I need to have kids. And even though, what's his name? Peter Griffin? Is there? I'm going to have to figure it out with Peter Griffin.
Listen, I'm telling you, if you have been waiting, this is your boo. Fine. You know what I'm saying?
She's singing today, my boo.
And you just got out. You need a minute. I need this minute right here. You're not like, I guess
you're not like Lifetime. Did y'all bring the cameras?
Right,
Or the cameras?
Yeah.
In the parking lot because we're heading up to the room 225.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna need us to start filming before it gets a little hot in here. Yeah, no.
You're not gonna make some Peter Griffin comment about we're not gonna, and you're like, okay. Anyway, I don't want to eat on the bed.
Yeah, she legit said she didn't want to eat on the bed. Like, I'm gonna need us to insert clip here.
Yeah.
Because that's a little.
Yeah. It's a
little weird. Like, I can't even say that it's not, because it's kind of like, what is really going on?
Have you ever been with a guy that you're just like, I'm not attracted to you like that? Like,
well, you're not gonna be in my space like that. Like, granted, she married him in prison.
She married him, so.
But I think she married him out of convenience, to be honest with you. I don't think she married him because she felt like he was going to be a great option. She felt like he was going to be a great lover. Yeah. I think she felt as if, I don't want to be paroled to my stepmom and my dad's house. And do you know what? I know this is rude. God forgive me. And I hate to say this on camera. But don't the dad, Dee Dee's brothers and sisters, they all sound like the wheel's spinning but the hamster's dead? Is it just me? No, I'm serious. All jokes aside. No, I'm serious.
Don't nobody know what's going on.
No, he was like, Dee Dee got to go to college, and we didn't get to go to college.
Apparently.
And Dee Dee didn't have to earn her car. She just got a car. Like, I don't know, just something seemed a little off. It just didn't seem like. And I'm like, granted, I know, there's a lot of people that live in Louisiana that are educated and know how to speak. Yeah. But they just all sound very, just like, a couple of fries are missing out of the Happy Meal a little bit, like maybe 20 fries. But something just seemed a little, off. Yeah. I was thinking that the other night when I was watching it, and I was like, okay, is it just me?
But it's funny, too. All of them kind of suspect, but nobody never said that there was abuse, but they thought, but they didn't, but they could see, but they don't know.
But the dad didn't really say that he thought there was abuse. And I'm going to be honest with you, the dad seems a little, like, off. He was in the Navy, ain't that odd? Like, is there a criteria to get in there or whatever? I thought there was. Like, you had to pass a little test.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's a little more than a GED qualification. You know what I'm saying? So at what? I don't know. Did you catch that? Like, there was some steps that I was like,
There's a lot of steps missing that I'm looking there. But, it's not my life. It's not my world. So I'm just kind of like, I'm speculating. I don't know.
That we are speculators, but
yes. It just looks a little weird.
It's just a little odd. It did look a little odd.
So getting back to just painting Nick's character to be this killer, you gotta really be geared up, hyped up. But you was listening to something when you was coming in.
She said, she was singing Biggie. Juicy. Birthdays used to be the worst days, but now we shift to say like.
What he came in with some DMX. What he came in with when he was commanding you to
which
go
I really
sing.
want.
Yes. What was the flavor in there? He He came in
You
there
know, I didn't
to
really
kill.
think about it, but she had to have some beats when she walked into the house for that.
You don't come into the house quiet and you just stab, and then come on.
She might have been listening to some trap music, maybe.
Something. You got to be on something, listening to something.
I didn't really think about that, but you're right.
Something.
She had to be a little amped up.
So then she claims with this whole rape scene afterwards, and he commanded her. Now this, according to if she didn't have sex with him at the theater, this would be the first time they're having sex, and she alleges that he raped her. And when she even said no, he wouldn't stop.
He seemed like he doesn't seem dominant at all.
And this is after murdering. This is the character she's saying that he came in there with. Demanding, murderer, rapist. And then told her, let's go to the hotel. And she said, okay.
Now, let's keep in mind, Gypsy sent him $400 for the bus ticket the initial time he met her at the Cinderella movie. Mm-hmm. And Gypsy sent him another $400 for the bus ticket and to get around when he came to unalive the mom. Mm-hmm. That seems like a very dominant person that's always taking care of everything.
Yeah.
And she mailed the money. How did she get her ass to the post office? It's like, you know, like for someone that said that they had zero freedom, I really want us to be a little more realistic with this, because I feel like that's kind of where the question lies is, was this really what she claims it was? And if not, what was it?
Yeah.
That I don't think we'll ever really truly get the answer, because I don't feel like Gypsy is ever going to be that honest.
Yeah. No.
I think that is a lot for us to ask of her, and I just don't think that she has the ability to really answer that. I mean, what do you... I just don't think so.
At this point, you're too far in. What are you going to be honest about? Unless you just really, like, you know what?
But even... if you notice, she was Moxhausen by proxy advocate. She took that off of her TikTok, her Instagram, all social media platforms. So for someone that suffered from Moxhausen by proxy, you would think that that would be the one thing she would advocate for.
Yeah.
So her taking that off of her page, while I commend her for, you know, not saying she was an advocate for something she wasn't, but it also makes you question the authenticity of what she's saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like she really this, because it seems as if everything keeps changing, and although social media and every platform that you would be dealing with, things are going to come up that really aren't as it seems, but she makes you question it a whole lot more than anyone would.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one thing you can't question was the video that she sent to Nick outlining the house so he knew exactly where
now
he could go.
That was some real tea, because when you... And the way she told him how to do it.
Why?
So that's the part that makes you really wonder, how did she get 8 years? Although they didn't investigate it, I'm telling you, that prosecutor, I know they gotta be sitting there like, ooh, I dropped the ball on this one.
Right.
And if they are a defense attorney anywhere in this world right now, fire that person. If you found out that was the prosecutor that was on the Gypsy Rose case, I wouldn't even want you.
Yeah. So
I'm good. I can fight this myself. I got this.
It's right there.
I know what not to do is what you did.
Okay. So I don't know if you noticed this, but in the part of the documentary where she's talking about the murder and getting raped and how, like, she wanted to go back in there, or she was getting raped and she called the mother's name or something like that. But then she was talking about the death. And this is when she's sitting in the prison garb or whatever, reflecting. And she was talking about it, but she was like trying to cry, but there's no tears. You notice that? And she's there.
I think a lot of times she seemed like she was trying to have a moment, but couldn't have the moment. Like the moment wasn't coming.
It's no tears. No tears there.
I think there was a lot of moments that she had like that, to be honest with you, even with Dr. Phil.
Okay. That was an interesting one. And I said, you don't usually have this emotional moment. Talking about the death of your mother, and Your eyes are dry. You're trying to well up. You're trying.
You know what I mean?
You're trying, but
sometimes you'd be like, act part 2. All right, tears come. All right, you don't want to come. Let's keep the ball rolling.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Yeah. So I thought it was also weird where she went online and posted about the Itch is Dead.
That was.
But then she said, she didn't know like if they was gonna come for her and put her back in the place where she was like captive. And I'm like,
yeah, you know, normally when you unalive people,
yeah,
you are kind of captive for some time, maybe even life. I don't know, depends on who's the jury.
And once again, you're putting breadcrumbs out, just like, you know, you ran away, but you're leaving notes. You killed your mother, but you're leaving notes. But
well,
you don't
I
expect.
honestly think she. I think the reason why she put the Facebook post is because she wanted something to jumpstart. Because she kind of was like, okay, are y'all gonna come get me?
You're right.
Is anyone gonna realize that my mama on the floor at a house? I feel like I'm in limbo.
Yeah. But it was funny that she said, and I'm saying this because we all been there. Okay, we've been there. She go in there to his house and realize, oh, he just got a room here, and it's like, what she say is like he was 15 years old, and she said, well, what did I get myself into? You didn't think about all of that before you murdered your mama?
I feel like normally if you came to that conclusion you was going to unalive your mom, you pretty much had a solid plan. Like, you were kind of, all right, I got all ends on the front, like, kind of taken care of.
So I'm laughing.
It didn't seem like that to me when it came to Gypsy. And I might be wrong. I might actually be wrong, but it just didn't seem like that to me.
I've been there. You know, you're clubbing, you meet some dude, and then you go to his place, he got a mattress on the floor. You're like, oh, God.
Right, but at least the key word was his place. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
She literally was in shock that he's in this small room.
I don't know if you realize that he did say in Killer Couples that he really felt bad when he realized how good of a mom Dee Dee was to her, because Dee Dee was taking care of her. So I think he realized, okay, Gypsy can't do nothing.
Yeah.
So someone was doing.
How spoiled she was, and yep.
I do think that.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. And she made a comment about, she took $5,000 and she thought they could live the rest of their lives on that $5,000.
That sounds like maybe my 9-year-old thinking at this point, because I think even 13, $5,000 ain't cutting it.
The rest of your life on $5,000. I was like, wow. She's
I sure wish we could live our lives on $5,000.
With kids. They want to have kids.
Yeah, he did say he anticipated getting a job and taking care of her.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was just things that she said afterwards that I found so weird. So, I just wanted to get your opinion on, like, going back to when she's talking with Ryan. Now she's introducing Ryan. This is now actually fast forwarding from that, and then talking about Ryan now. And then we're seeing how the relationship is going. So, this is when they first started up. And so when she's dating him, and then she goes in and mentions Ken, right? She mentions Ken to him.
Which I don't understand, because she always stated that she was obsessed with Ken. Mm-hmm. And so I don't really even know why Ryan would entertain her, because I feel like she kind of made it known that Ken was what was heavily on her mind. I might be wrong.
So I was thinking narcissistic and codependent relationships. Right? Don't they always try to include an ex into the relationship to try to create jealousy with the other person? Because what she said to him was, I spoke to Ken 3 weeks ago. Did she really talk to Ken?
She had a dream that she cheated on him. And then but then also Ryan's response was very controlling too, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could say she met her match, but she met her problem. I know that because I know Ryan's gonna make a problem for her. She thinks she gonna leave him on the front.
Yeah. But she brought it up, and I'm like, is she in actual conversation with Ken? Because she told him, I just talked to him 3 weeks ago, and he was like,
I think Ken wanted nothing to do with her, to be really honest with you. And based off of what I have seen from him, I mean, think about it. We still haven't heard anything from Ken.
Right. So I was like, was she just bringing him up just to start some nonsense? Because,
Ken say his name is Bennett. Don't call him Kenneth. Call him Bennett.
Not at all.
And I ain't in it.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Ken has been very specific about that.
So I'm like, is she bringing that up just to start some, like, jealousy? Narcissistic people, they like that. And you're probably not even talking to the man at all. There's no interest at all. So I was thinking about that. And then to see, like, okay, this controlling narrative, who's controlling who in that? You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see.
I do think Gypsy's very much controlling in her marriage with Ryan. But I do think they both have their own ways of being controlling because they both have things against each other. Because I think that's part of the thing is that essentially Ryan has this parole over her head. And Gypsy has all this dirt over her head. And I don't think that Ryan is a good look for her. Now, as a person, if I was her PR person, one thing I would say is leave Ryan, focus on your mental health, and show how you're a survivor and you made a bad decision, but you overcame this, right? So I don't think Ryan is really a good look for her, especially with the issues that he's had at schools and stuff like that. I don't feel like he's a good look for her. But any man that is a upstanding citizen isn't gonna go look for Gypsy Rose and say, "Let's get married."
And then the stress of marriage. And
she keeps saying, "I'm a married woman." Girl, you just got out the cell 2 minutes ago.
So I just think all of this is just rushed. It's put together. The perception of like you can just marriage and love, and it's just gonna wrap up.
It's very much. It's giving duct taped. It's giving very much duct taped.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but it's giving duct taped.
Yeah. And the reality is, you don't put your life back together in patches like that and think everything's gonna be okay. You just
especially not you patch a relationship and. I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't go like that. But you guys, next we are going to talk about Yolanda Saldívar. So she has her Oxygen documentary that's getting ready to come out, and this is going to be very interesting because. What do we know about Yolanda Saldívar? We do know she is one of the most hated people in America right now. We do know that she definitely has a hex on her head when she gets out. Like, there's definitely people that want to see her not here. The question's really going to be is what is she going to disclose? That is verifiable because she is alleging that these things are verifiable. And although I don't really want to support anyone that unalived Selena. Selena was very much an icon in every form of the word, but in terms of thinking about a Mexican-American icon, she was the biggest one of all time. And it was sad to see what happened, and it's going to be very interesting to hear what Yolanda Saldívar has to say. I don't know.
It's gonna be
we got to watch this documentary because our opinions might feel very different. Allegedly, Selena's dad has something to do with it. I don't know. I don't think it's far-fetched, but I don't really know. It's going to be very interesting to see.
I used to love Selena.
Selena was...
That's J-Lo's big.
And after that, Whitney Williams is coming in. Now, you wouldn't know Whitney Williams is my girl. Whitney Williams, I used to watch her when she was on 107.5 WBLS in New York when nobody knew her on TV. But Whitney had the T before anybody else did. When Beyonce and Jay-Z got together, Whitney Williams had said it way before. Back when Beyonce was wearing that jersey dress and the Manolos. It was real.
Yes.
I think that's going to be very
Yeah.
interesting. And you know how
Mm-hmm.
her documentary starts out? I am broke. I want to know the tea on, because when I looked up online,
Yeah.
they said she's worth $28 million. So are you broke or you don't have access to the money? And why did she not have access to her cash?
Listen, I just want to see the story. I love me some Wendy's, so I just want to see the story.
But we have a lot coming up.
Yes.
So you guys stay tuned.
Yes.
But we will be back next week. We
Yes.
will maybe touch on a little bit of Gypsy Rose, but we're really going to get into this Derek Rosa situation.
Oh, yes.
When Derek Rosa and Gypsy, what's her name? Rose?
Rose.
I don't know, but we'll get back to you guys with that. So hang in there.
Too much to talk about.
Okay? Bye-bye for now.
Bye.